And I just said, wow, it took for her to get murdered the way she did to have a spot on that magazine. Sad. I got
because she didn't get the fact that she didn't comply while she was asleep.
Today is nothing but hot topics. Taylor's family actually came to an agreement with the state of Kentucky, and they were awarded $12 million.
Yes.
Now, this is a civil suit that the mother had filed against the state, not the criminal suit that is taking forever.
Because the AG was speaking at the RNC.
The AG had time.
But did y'all even listen to? But did we even listen to? Did y'all listen to what he said at the RNC? Because that is very deep. Go back and listen to what he said when he spoke at the RNC.
He's where they say everybody with your skin ain't your kin.
Not all skin folk is kinfolk.
That's right. The family got $12 million.
Isn't it supposed to be something along with that settlement with regards to police?
Yes. Also, they want police reform as well in Kentucky.
Yeah, but it's still not justice, though.
I don't think 12 million was enough.
It's still not.
There's not a price tag on my child's life.
Exactly.
You know, the other day I was, it was this week, I was in the supermarket and I saw Breonna Taylor on Vanity Fair cover magazine. And it was like a drawing of her. It was beautiful. Look at it. And I was in the supermarket and tears came in my eyes. It was very touching. She looks gorgeous on the photo, on the cover. And I just said, wow, it took for her to get murdered the way she did to have a spot on that magazine. Sad.
Because she didn't get the fact that she didn't comply when she was asleep.
Right. Yeah. In her bed.
It was a no-knock warrant. So apparently they're trying to get rid of the no-knock warrant. I'm not playing devil's advocate because I ain't the devil's advocate. But in cases of like child abuse or a serious narcotic ring or something like that, how does that work when there's when you have to have a warrant to come in? You know what I mean? So it kind of it's a two-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I don't condone what they did.
Not at all.
But I see, in a sense, how that could have happened.
But they had the wrong house. They already had
the right house works. Yeah.
They already had the person in custody.
But so they didn't know that. That team didn't know that, and someone had to explain that, how that situation can happen when the warrant squad is already out there. So understanding the legalities behind how they still went to the house, although the person that they were looking for was apprehended, that does happen. It's just, again, how unfortunate, because what if it wasn't Breonna Taylor that passed? What if it was maybe her niece and her nephew who may have been sleeping at her house that night?
Right.
Yeah.
Was it a Tatiana Jefferson that was in the house
with her niece?
Yeah. And she was killed. Yeah. When we constantly see the same story with different characters over and over again, it's not a coincidence. Because if the terrorist Kyle Wittenhouse or Wittenberger, whatever his name is, was able to shoot two people and then go home
and walk by the police,
hands up,
yep,
and be unscathed, not even a hair out of place.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I logged on to the neighborhood site this week. I haven't been on in God knows how many months. And someone posted a graph of police shootings, and, you know, they were following up behind Trump, stating that, you know, more white people are harmed by the police than Black people. And I think people lose the point in what people are protesting for with regards to police shootings of unarmed people. It has nothing, it's not so much as there's more white people than Black people that are shot by the police. What percentage do we hold as Black people in America?
Exactly.
So
this is people that don't know math.
But on the same chart, if he read the chart and he read the chart through and understood, you know, what he was reading, he would have realized that your argument, you actually just went against your argument by putting up this graph, because you showed the disproportionate, yes, there's more white people than there is Black people.
Exactly.
So, but
and I believe the only reason why that is because they lynched, murdered, and slaughtered so many of us.
Right.
Over the past 400 years since we've been in this country. I could go there. I could go to the 2 million of us that never made it because we died at sea. But
exactly.
I digress.
Yeah.
I digress. You know, I could go on and on. I could go on and on and on about it, but I'm not. Talk about.
Real quick though, I want to put a plug in, and I think I mentioned it last time, and I'm going to keep mentioning it to our audience. I'm speaking to a Black retired female cop. She said that a lot of times the reason why we keep getting attacked is because we don't complain and we don't sue. She said one thing about when white people are stopped by cops and when they're abused by cops,
it's a wrap.
So let me tell y'all.
We don't know what our rights are.
Yeah. So we telling our audience, anytime you stop by a cop and you are not treated correctly, I don't care if he said something wrong to you.
File a complaint.
Take it to court.
File a complaint.
More of us are taking it to court. They don't want to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's a black and white thing, but at the end of the day, if it's a green thing,
it's a green thing.
Come on, sis.
They're gonna start changing. Cause like, wait, all of them. Cause you know one thing about us as a minority, if it become a fad,
they changed it real quick.
So we need to start that. If you every time we get stopped, if you disrespect me when you stop me, I don't care if you said something out the way to me. We need to sue.
Yeah. And
she said, and that's what they do, and that's why they don't get treated as badly as we do, because we get beat up and like, all right, let me go home and lay in my bed and sulk. No, we need to be at our lawyer's office the next day.
Right. See, they don't think we have lawyers. But even if you don't have the money to get a lawyer, there are legal defense funds and there are legal aides that are out there that will provide legal services to you pro bono or for a lesser fee.
Right.
So that was a great point, Keish. Like
message.
Message. You know what I'm saying? So with the Breonna Taylors, with the Daniel Proulx, the Jacob Blakes, it's so much. Like we can't even go to everybody that has unjustly been murdered or harmed due to police brutality. But with the NBA, the NFL, the NHL,
the MLB,
not NFL, excuse me, the MLB and the WNBA that protested, and they showed the powers that be, even though it was a short time, that we could shut your whole ish down if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes that's what people need to see for them to make changes. And LeBron did come out afterwards and say, the race for justice is a slow one. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So I'm sure they had to have some conversations and compromises, because I know some people in the NBA was like, look, I got bills. I need to work. I've been out of work for too long. I got this, I got that. So they had to come together with Disney and they had to come back to play. But the fact that they was all like, nah, I'm done with this. Peace. And the level, like, I'm back.
When hockey did it, like I was like, oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Listen, my hockey brethren that was in support of BLM, and now I don't know if y'all watch the games, but all of them, they have the option to wear any type of shirt they want, you know, with whatever on the back.
Right.
So do you think with all of the stuff that's that has been publicized recently that BLM has become a fad and it whitewashed, or it's lost its authenticity?
No, well, let me rewind it, because we had spoke about that before with how like Amazon and Uber and all of them are like hopping on the bandwagon. So I do agree partially that yes, it has become like a fad, and they're using that for marketing. But what I will say is I'm so happy when in the beginning with the whole protesting, and we started realizing, like when we were watching the TV and we said, wait a minute, there's more other cultures than us.
Do you think that that's a problem?
Huh?
Do you think that that's a bad thing, or?
No, I think it's a beautiful thing, because you know why? We've been doing it since beginning of time. We've been protesting. Martin Luther King, we've been protesting. We were doing peaceful protesting. We were getting sprayed with hoses. And it's about time somebody said, yo, let me help you guys out, because apparently all these protesting, all these peaceful marches you guys been doing is not really working. So by getting help from other cultures, like I told y'all the other time, where in Matash is a predominantly white town, and they had a Black Lives Matter march, and only like 1 or 2 Black people were there, and they had banners and the whole nine. Listen, that is just, we need help from everybody, because we can't do it by ourselves. We're only 13% of this population. We need help.
Did you guys catch The View with Jane Fonda? When,
oh yeah.
Enjoy.
And Jane Fonda said, basically,
you need to sit back.
Women.
Let them, but Joy agreed with her, but it was if that's how they want to call it and how they want to do it, we gotta fall back. That's how. Let Black people say how things need to be done for Black people. Right. We'll sit back and support.
Right.
That's all we need to do.
Mm-hmm. So have anybody seen some of the things that some of our celebrities have come out with, some of the things that they're proposing? Ice Cube had proposed about what he believes we should have as far as Black people, and KRS-One was talking about Black Constitution and how we need to have our own separate set of laws that govern us. Like, you know, the Navajo Nation or the tribes, you know, the indigenous nations inside of a nation. I don't know if anybody's seen T.I. with the Lloyds of London, holding them accountable for stuff. So everybody's coming up with different things, but it has to be some type of cohesiveness.
Right.
Well, I think as far as sports teams, most players are Black and brown. Mm-hmm. So they know if they don't play, the owners don't make money. Now it's the owners who donate to campaigns. It's the owners who
they donate to Trump's campaign,
who have the have the ends to change laws,
and legislation and lobbyists and stuff.
Right. Like that, right. So I think now with sports, they're seeing that, okay, if we want change, it starts there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood.
And just going back a little bit, going back to what we were talking about with the whole, if it's getting taken away from us, the Black Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. Colin Kaepernick, when he kneeled during the national anthem, I was very upset, because I felt like he should have got, at that moment, he should have got more support from Black
teammates.
Yes.
Well, yeah. The board, yeah.
Because it was like a thing where it wasn't cool.
Right.
To support him.
Right.
A lot of people stayed quiet and made their money.
And Eric Reed. Let's not forget Eric Reed.
Yes. Yeah. So now going back, moving forward with our movement and other cultures helping us, what that has done is showed other people, because you got to keep in mind the things that's been happening to Black people for years. there's been a lot of people that sat around and knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
But they didn't, it wasn't cool to support us.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool. So now it's like, okay, it's cool now. Like now everybody's on board. So
because they know when the revolution happens,
they want to be on the right side.
That's why is it genuine? Like I know all the companies and stuff are, oh, Black Lives Matter. I'm like, but is it genuine though, or are you just doing it to save face?
At this point, it probably isn't.
Like
some people are. Some people are. I'm not gonna say everybody. I'm not gonna do a broad stroke.
Been done. Like you would have been done it. Like if you know it was wrong for how many years, why you didn't say nothing then?
Yeah, but people are less likely to speak out when they feel that they're the only one.
Only one, right?
When you see other people speaking out, they're like, "Oh yeah, me too." You know, like the Me Too movement. That's why that took had legs and it ran, because it was like, "Oh, Mr. Me Too." Everybody was Mr. Me Too.
You ever notice when you're listen to someone speak, and the speaker asks a question, and everyone's looking at one another like who's going to be the first person to ask the question, and then you get that question, and then you're now going around the room picking people to come. They just need that one person.
Yes.
Open the floor.
And then everybody's
like the altar call at church. Right. You know, when the pastor called the altar call, everybody down, and they talk about, well, you sin. If you sin and you fell short of the glory, everybody got their head down. They don't want. Nope, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. And then they see droves. They open their eyes and they see droves of people going to the altar.
They be like, okay, I'm going to.
Let me get out the aisle. I need to get in the aisle.
Yeah.
That's how people are bandwagoners. Like by nature, they just jump
that's
on
human
it.
nature. Yeah, that's human nature. There isn't. There's no thing
like
that.
For example, I remember real quick story. There was a meeting at one of my jobs years ago. A manager went on vacation, and one person went to the director and complained about, not one person, like 2 or 3 people went to the director and complained about that one manager. So then it became like a big meeting, and then everybody was complaining about that one manager, and I had no problem with the manager. So the director was like, well, is anybody in the room don't have a problem with this manager? And I sat there and I said, you know what, God? And I rose my hand. When I tell y'all, woo! I was on the lunch table by myself for weeks. Jesus.
He ain't talking to her.
That's equivalent to working in the White House, not supporting Trump. I was like, oh my God, just with me raising my hand. And they was all like, how traitor.
But you were honest. Yeah. You were honest and you didn't follow the pack. So kudos
I'm trying to get it to heaven, y'all. See.
Listen, but people are pack creatures by nature.
Yes,
they want a pack. They want to fit into a pack. So whatever the tide is right now, they'd be like, it's red. And then somebody over there blue. Oh, it's blue, you know. And that's how people are. They just want to jump, you know, on whatever is popping at the moment.
Yeah.
So I hope that this is not a momentary pop. I hope that this is something that's sustainable and that it really creates change. These lawmakers got to be held accountable.
And that's why I said, going back to the whole education for our people, because that's my fear, that this is just a fad right now. And then 2 years from now, is this going to be a memory, and we're going to keep getting police brutality, and then there's going to be another protesting and all that kind of stuff. And I just
think any year can go like 2020.
2020.
I don't think any year in our lifetime.
That's true.
2020 is going into history.
I told my best friend, not to cut you off, Keisha, I told my best friend, I said, when we in heaven and say we having a conversation about coming back to this, I said, do me a favor, just say 2 words, Trump and 2020, and I will never come back to it. I'm like, nah. I'll stay in heaven with God.
Thank you, Lord.
You're not doing that again.
Thank you, Lord. I bow at your feet, Lord.
Yeah, I'm staying here.
Let me be caught up in the rapture. Don't leave me here.
Yeah.
Hot Topics gets even hotter, so stay tuned for scenes from the next episode of Between Sisters.
If you don't want a man to hit you,
like keep your hands to yourself.
Your hands.